Bitcoin is down 31% from its peak of 109,000 to yesterday's close at yesterday's low at 74,400-ish. Is it a red flag or is it just a normal dip? Let's dive into the charts, check the broader markets, and unpack this baby. And I'll show you where I'm eyeing a potential bounce for Bitcoin. Let's do this right now. All right, so yesterday's drop, wick was at 74,481. Okay, if we do this right, measure it from this all-time high at right here at 109,400 basically, down to 74,400-ish right there. That is a 31 point, almost a 32% drop. Okay, almost a 32% drop, 32% dip, right? But if you go back and you look at the up markets of Bitcoin, okay, and this is an up market, right? And even this one, I think there is one that's 30%. Most of them are like 18, 20% drops, okay? And considering this, in comparison, comparing this up move with previous up moves, right? Previous bull markets, there have been, and even during the parabolic part of the bull market, not even like the rising part of from the low, right? Just the rising part from the low, and this is the parabolic part right here, right? I think we are still a long rising part, right? And then eventually a parabolic move. Okay, so during the rising part, yes, the dips are like this was I believe COVID, right? So that's why there was a huge dip. Okay, right? This is the bottom of this bear market, right? I'm using an example of the 2018, right? 2018 forward to 2021 cycle, right? So the bear market starts a new cycle, okay? Makes a low, right? And then we start doing a rising market, as you can see right through here, a rising market, okay? Which to me would be this, right? What we are missing is this part right here, the parabolic part, which I think is coming. And even during these parts, there were dips of over 30%, and it was still a rising market. Okay, during this up moves, we see dips of much higher. Okay, black swans, like the COVID, right, which was a 72% drop, and here we are crying about a 32% drop, guys. Okay, keep things in perspective. This is why I think the bull market is not over, because it's just the characteristic, right, of crypto, of Bitcoin, to be volatile. Okay, and that's not going away anytime soon, right? It's still going to be volatile, and maybe as it gets older, right, you're supposed to get less volatile. Maybe it's just a characteristic of Bitcoin and crypto. Although it'll get less volatile, it's still going to be volatile, much more than the stock market, right? 20% is a 20% drop in the stock market is a bear market, right? It ushers in a bear market. In crypto, that is not the case, okay? And that is not the case. So that's why I still think we have a lot higher to go, okay? It's just part of this up move, okay? Something like this, part of this up move, and we're somewhat close, right? I would say this year, by the end of this year, we will probably hit a peak like we did here, and we'll have a parabolic run. You only need 150 days of that, right? That could be a few months out and still be able to end with the peak this year, at the end of this year, at the very end of this year, okay? All right, so that's that. 31% dip, no big deal. Areas to watch again for a bounce. Let's go back on for the daily. Areas to watch for a bounce. Triangle 75,000. Today would be 75,600-ish. And if we lose that, then I could see us coming down here to 73,171. After that, I really wouldn't like to see it drop too much more, okay? Next area of support would probably be 70,000. That's a psychological number. And then this line right here at 68,800, which I believe was the previous cycle's high. Yes, peak high right there. It's the previous cycle that we were just looking at. This is just on the daily. This is just on the daily, so it looks the way it looks. So that's the previous one, previous cycle's high. So let's see if it has to come back down and test that, which is the 68,000. But we'll see. There's quite a few areas of support first that would have to break through, and for it to get down, I think, right, we need more catalysts right now. The catalyst, everything is just going on Trump and the tariffs, right? And then the reaction of other countries to it, right? For the most part, the countries have been willing to come to the negotiating table, okay? China, however, is one that has not, okay? And I think they have just, the US just put a 104% tariff on China, all right? They're playing a game of chicken. Let's see who breaks first. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, okay? So that stuff is going to move the markets as it has been doing, and it has been moving the markets to the downside, right? Just a lot of fear, All right, let's take a look at other parts of the market because we need to see what's going on there because everything is interconnected. Bitcoin is not standing on its own. One more thing, Ethereum. Let's do a quick little thing on Ethereum, okay? I think Ethereum looks like it's on its way down here to test this area right here, 1,140 as area of support, this line right here. All right, it's done it before. Last time it touched this ascending line was April 2020, all right? And it looks like it's on its way to do it again. But at that time, this ascending line was at $145, and now this ascending line today, for example, would be at $1,149. So I think we're on our way to touch this, hopefully a little higher, right? Because each day that number goes up a little bit because it is an ascending line, right? But I think it looks like it's on its way to touch this line, to test support, all right? And from there, I would expect a bounce. So maybe we are in this for a little bit longer, right? The sideways chop consolidation dropping a little bit longer. Maybe we're in it for another month or two, and it just makes everything super boring and people super scared, and people are going to be selling, and only the few committed people are going to be in this market, all right? But it'll have rewards. Those that stay, I think, will definitely get a strong reward by a bullish market, a parabolic up move eventually at some point this year, the start of one. All right, dollar, after 2 days up, I think it's going to continuously come back down. The administration wants to drop the dollar. All right, let's see what the Dow Jones dropping again, NASDAQ dropping again, S&P 500 dropping again. 2-year bond yields, what's it doing? After a big move up, it's giving back some of those yields, and the 10-year just keeps going up. All right, which means that people are not buying 10-year bonds. Entities are not buying 10-year bonds. We're going to keep a close eye on that and see later in the coming days, weeks, what the implications are there. Okay, oil has dropped a lot. That's good for the consumer. Okay, that's good. We need to see that. Bitcoin dominance, what are we looking like? It's going to continue going up while others is going to continue to probably drop down more. I don't think we drop down to 77 billion. I don't think we lose 100 billion, but you never know. I don't think so. That would be disastrous, but it would come back eventually. Okay, I just don't see it. I don't. At some point, Bitcoin is going to probably bottom out before the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones do. Okay, all right, at some point. And let's see here how the ETFs do. 3 days in a row of red, all right, of outflows. Okay, yesterday's being outflow of 103 million. All right, so that's a look around the markets. The only news today is just the fight between the U.S. and China over tariffs. Okay, and they're playing a game of chicken. U.S. increases it, China increases theirs. U.S. increases it, China will probably increase theirs. Okay, so let's see where that all ends. Hopefully, eventually, cooler heads will prevail and they will do things that benefit both and us, crypto investors. All right, that's it, guys. That's it. Really quickly, let's take a look at what's going on here. I think right now it's just nibble and wait. Okay, small nibbles right now because I think we still have a little bit more to drop. All right, so I mean, for example, Mr. Miggles at 2 cents. Maybe wait for it to drop under 2 cents, which is looking like it might. Same thing for Toshi. You know, it could probably drop a little bit more. Okay, if the market does so will it. Keycat resistance here, support here at 0020, but maybe we drop all the way down here to 00197. Okay, definitely possible. Dogami, same thing. I could see Dogami dropping some more. Next area to look at would probably be 3029. Will it come back down here at 3019? Possible. Right now we're at 3037, guys. Okay, so if you want to nibble now, I would wait. I would give it a day or two and see what happens. All right, eventually we will get more clarity, and eventually things will be all right, guys. Okay, so just hang in there. Okay, this is just how crypto is. It's a very volatile. It's not for everybody. All right, but for those that have the strength and the vigor to withstand and keep going, you will be greatly rewarded if you're in the right place. And if you follow my channel, then you're probably in some right place, because I'm good at this stuff. Okay, cool. If you can, please like, subscribe, please leave a comment. I'm trying to grow this channel. All that stuff really does help. With all that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.